both like professional leaders.
This has a 5-0, 7-0 kind of potential.
I cannot believe that they've lost 7 games and they're 6th in the table.
Hello and welcome back to Just Another Football Podcast. Welcome to the review of the funniest Premier League weekend this season yet. I got a full house today. We do have Harry, Fergal, and George. Welcome, fellas. Great to have you back, Fergal and George. How are you two? We haven't spoken in 2 weeks, so hopefully all is well.
Yeah, been a bit ill. I think it's going round, to be fair, but as you can probably tell from the voice. Apart from that, I've been well. Trying to stay away from as much football as possible, to be honest, with Chelsea. So, this time of year, it's thick and fast, and that's not necessarily good for me at the moment. But oh well, I'm a bit like Klopp moaning about the fixtures. Yeah. Because I just don't want to see us play anymore. But no, I'm well apart from that.
Fergal, how are you getting on?
I'm all good. Yeah. The Christmas season full swing.
Still no Mike.
Had a couple of Christmas
Still
dues.
no Mike. Disgusting.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask Santa for that, I think. Fingers crossed. I've been a good boy this year.
Breaking news. Barcelona 0, Girona 1 inside 13 minutes.
Oh,
Girona win. They top the league. That would probably be the funniest
that's
storyline.
exciting.
Well, it wouldn't be funnier than Man United losing to Bournemouth.
Man City back Girona, part of the City group.
The squad has no right whatsoever to be up there, to be anywhere near. That game's still going on, still 80 minutes of football to play. What did happen, well, one of the many things that happened this weekend, is Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 0. Harry, hi.
Evening.
How are you?
Something way too chipper for my liking this evening, Alan.
Yeah.
It's like bordering on the edge of like gloating,
Oh, yeah.
reveling in others' misery on this podcast.
I
Bit of shouting
apologize.
for it.
I do.
It
I do
is.
apologize.
It absolutely is.
1-0. I think Arsenal were quite unlucky there, to be serious for a second. Loads and loads of just like guilt-hedged chances, I would say. A goal that was disallowed. We can talk about that if you want. But
Yeah.
yeah, it is unlucky in my opinion. Or do you see it in some other way?
I mean, yeah, like given the way the game panned out, I thought we were pretty good value for something, I would say.
I agree.
I mean, look, you can't say it's bad luck when your attackers just misexecute so many gilt-edged, not just chances, but situations where, you get to the stats at the end of the game and the XGs, whatever it was, and actually that doesn't include the number of times, like the final ball, the final pass, final action was just, didn't even lead to a shot, and it was just gilt-edged. I think after the initial flurry in which they scored, we came into it and then had more of the ball, and their line was just creeping further and further and further up the pitch. And we obviously cottoned onto it quite quickly. And the longer the half went on, the more we started to sort of punt the ball in behind into their right back area and had joy down there. And really, we should have scored through that. We had, probably half a dozen situations at least in that first half where I just think even average execution, like there's been talk of it this season, we've not quite been as good, but I think even given what we've produced this season, just like executing even to an average level, I think we'd have scored a couple of goals. And look, it's not luck when your attackers underperform to that extent. You have to take it on the chin and say they didn't do their jobs ultimately. It's probably as critical as I've been of the attack all season, because I think in certain games we've starved them of good situations and maybe played a little bit kind of too safe. But I think in this one, they had opportunities given the way that Villa approached it and the risks they took. And they just didn't have as much energy as they had against Man City, so that there wasn't as much pressure on the ball. There was a chance to exploit the kind of high line they've got. And I think we've got slightly better personnel, particularly on the wings, than Man City do to take advantage of something like that. But the attackers didn't execute ultimately in front of goal, and that's what cost us. And it's frustrating, actually, because they're a good side. They're third in the league. This is the 15th game in a row they've won at home. So like it's a tricky fixture.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
we stood up to that pretty well, and I don't think it was their best performance. I watched them against Man City Wednesday night, and you look at a game like that, and City obviously were nowhere near their levels, but I think Villa could have. I mean, City are the best team in the world. They beat them handily. They'd have beaten anyone playing like that, and I include us in that. It was just one of those games. I didn't think yesterday was that at all, even though the scoreline was the same. I thought they were worse. Their levels dropped, and we kind of played better than City did. But it kind of then narrows the margins, and they really have one big chance of the game. They score it, and then Emi Martin has said it on Match of the Day. They suffered for 85 minutes, and we didn't take advantage. And it is frustrating actually that it's another away game that we've just not come out on the right side of sort of tight margins. But that stuff can cost you. That's the danger, I suppose, with having a kind of style that is kind of all control. It's that occasionally, if games are tight, maybe we don't quite take enough risk to kind of break the door down. But we've played worse this season in one game, so I'm not like that critical of what I saw, if I'm honest.
Mm-hmm.
A great win midweek as well, in the fashion that it was.
Yeah, this is the thing as well. Like, I think you have to kind of judge the last week. Like, it's 3 games. It's a block, right? It's as much as sort of you don't get the result yesterday. I'd still say 6 points from 9. Like, it's kind of. I'd have said that's bare minimum is what we needed to do. Like, obviously Wolves at home, we won the 2 games we needed to win. I think if we'd got a point yesterday, that would have been a good return. I think 6 are kind of the bare minimum. But you actually look at it, like how many teams. I mean, Liverpool won all 3, but Liverpool probably had about the easiest fixtures of any side across those 3 games. Really, I know they had 2 away games, but it's 2 sides you should beat. I know it was a quick turnaround, but Palace are in awful form. Sheffield United are like dreadful, and it's Fulham who, they've hit a bit of form actually, some scoring form in the last 3 games. But going into that match, struggling a little bit. And you look at it. Other than that, City lost a game. Obviously, we lost a game. I think Villa drew to Bournemouth. Like Spurs lost a game. United lost.
City nearly losing to Luton as well this weekend. Like it was.
Made hard work.
It was tight up until a point.
Yeah.
Man City, of course, 4 points off top of the table Liverpool. But yeah, I would agree with the fact that we probably had the easiest run. Fulham conceding 3 to Fulham, and then winning quite easily against Sheffield United 2-0, and then winning very, very poorly against Crystal Palace 2-1. There are 3 types of wins, really. One, super difficult. Like, they're just scoring with every shot on target, Fulham. Our goalkeeper's way off form. We spoke about that last week. Sheffield United, very comfortable, I would say. And obviously the win yesterday was borderline undeserved. But I think this weekend was a perfect example of why Liverpool are top. Because we find the answers to a diverse set of problems. Again. And I think Arsenal are still slightly lacking this ability to negotiate different circumstances. I don't know how to really put it into words, but I think they lack slightly of this champion's character of like, we're gonna win this no matter what.
I think they lack the individuals that Liverpool have to like what you're talking about there is like when the system isn't quite going right, you need a player to step up and like have some magic, whereas maybe Arsenal are a bit more suited to the system, as you're saying, Harry, and like if like maybe Odegaard, maybe Saka can do it, but if you look at Liverpool, you have Salah, Salah especially, and then even Darwin Núñez, like he either blows hot or cold, but like whenever he's hot, he can't have those moments. So I wonder, and maybe there's a freedom there for those players to do that as well, whereas might be a bit more rigid at Arsenal.
I think on top of that as well, it's like it's intensity, isn't it? It's finding intensity within a slow build-up style. So for Liverpool, there's always that intensity. The switch of play for Liverpool is massive. It always has been. And Arsenal for a long time. I think Arsenal, even now, have something over City in that their switch of play is often far more intense, far more. It's far quicker. They get the ball into the box very quickly, while obviously Pep relies on really sophisticated patterns of play. They all do, to a certain extent. Liverpool, Arsenal, City, all of these top teams that dominate the ball are playing in a similar way out from the back. But when it gets to the final third, finding gaps, that's where you see the discrepancies. And I think with a team like Aston Villa, sort of tying back to the result, they're the perfect intensity killers, aren't they? Like that's what Emery is all about. He's about killing intensity, and then once they do get the ball, then their transition is unbelievable. I don't know how he gets his team to be in the right mentality to lack intensity and kill it, and then once it turns over to be so quick on the transition. You see it from the goal, how quickly they got
goal.
From,
I was going to say like, on the goal they scored. Like there's always every goal you concede, you'll find something to go. Yeah, that was poor. Someone should have done this, or someone should that. But that's the best goal anyone scored against us in a long time.
It's brilliant.
Like, yeah, I watched it back earlier, and yeah, like there's always bits you look at and go, like, you could do better. But genuinely, the play from back to front, as you say, the change of pace to play the ball through the lines, every pass is just perfect. This is 4.5 minutes into a game.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've had an intense game 2 days before. Like, it's so good. And then equally, kind of on the other side of it, there was a window in that game, I would say, from kind of 15 minutes in to, say, 60, 65 minutes, where the game was there for us. We had the chances. We were getting in behind. And I was critical when he was our manager, and I still think he has a tendency to do this, of sort of make changes for the sake of making changes. But on this occasion, the substitutes he made at the time he made them perfectly took the flow out of the game. I think we're a flow-based team, and once we lose flow, and it's hard to then regain it if you're anyone. But they killed it excellently, and that was the sort of biggest credit I could give them in the way they managed the game. Was the subs they brought on did a very, very good job running down the clock, but not being too passive, not letting us play in dangerous areas, not just getting pinned in for 25 minutes. Defending your box like Luton did the other night, where they just ran out of gas and obviously it just became attack v defence. They got the right subs on at the right time to take the sting out of it and make it just a really ugly, kind of uneventful then last period until obviously the disallowed goal at the end. So you have to give them credit for their approach to that. And they're going well at the minute, and it's a very, very difficult game for any team to go there at the minute, I think. Liverpool don't have to go there till I think the second last game of the season, which, you know, Liverpool had some hard games, but not having to play that until then. I mean, obviously we'll see how it pans out, but at this moment in time, looks like a blessing.
Get it.
So.
Oh yeah, definitely is.
It could be the next Crystal Bull.
Place
to go.
Oh yeah. It has potential. I was gonna say the league title may be decided by them, but I'm very hesitant to actually say so. So I'm not gonna say it. Even though I just did. The on the substitutes, but before we move on to possibly one of the funnier results of the weekend, if not the funniest. Jacob Ramsey's came on for Yuli Tillmans. Matty Cash for Ezra Konsa. Ezra Konsa is like a makeshift right back that is playing right back at the minute, but slight point of weakness there and with his ball carrying. Matty Cash, of course, did an excellent job of not ending anyone's career, which he seems intent on. You listener, reviewer might say, old school defender, Papa goes into tackles, etc. I say he's unbelievably rash. Leandro Dendoncker, I liked his tenacity. Every time he had the ball, he seemed like he's gonna give it away, but his actual scanning of midfield and in terms of like when the opposition have the ball, he's just gonna chase it and win it back. And I think he was instructed to do so, to press high up. And Moreno coming in for Digne. Two unbelievable left back staff. What a privilege. Right.
Just on the Luton game I was watching.
Right. Okay.
and he also done well midweek. Ross Barkley, if we're just talking about
Yeah,
midfielders here,
Right.
yeah.
he, he's
Rolling
found
back the years.
another level. But like it's I've never seen him in this sort of way before. Like I've never seen him play as deep so consistently as well. A lot of the time he would have been played like as a 10. If he was playing in the midfield, he'd be more of an attacking midfielder. But he's just doing the whole lot at the moment. And like his performance against Arsenal was incredible. And then he had another solid performance against Man City. He had a lovely jinky run and skewed the shot a bit. But great to see that he seems settled. It seems like he's coming into a bit of form. 30 years old. Um, Southgate might be having another wee look there, but he's got to keep it up for the rest of the season.
England squad? Just joking. The funniest result of the weekend. Manchester United 0. Bournemouth 3. Oh yeah. That was
And it
was
should have been.
great.
It could have been 4 as well. So unlucky with that last goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that as well. Like,
If it's
I
4.
mean,
Sorry.
yeah.
If it's 4, does he go?
If it was 4, it was going to be his biggest ever defeat as Man United manager.
Biggest
Ten Hag's biggest defeat. That's what the commentary said whenever
Can't
the
be. They
goal
lost
went in.
7-0 last season to Liverpool.
Oh, must be at home then. Yeah, it must be
Yeah.
at
At
home.
home, yeah.
home defeat, yeah. I was confused
Yeah,
there.
but they've conceded 3 like in so many games at home under him this
Yeah.
season. Like it's actually unbelievable. And it could have been, as you say, it should have been 4. Really, I mean that law is just absurd. Like how that's handball is just crazy to me.
The only time I think that should come into effect is if it literally goes off your hand and into the.
I've said this before. Yeah,
I think Daniel Sturridge scored one like that, and I was like, doesn't feel right. But if
No,
it kind of
I
flicks
agree,
off
like-
your hand,
I think that like the handball law. I'll try and make this quick because there's more to discuss it. But they basically, it's become the ball cannot hit your hand and lead to a goal. Whereas what it should be, as you say, is if the ball comes off your hand and goes, you should be able to score with your hand. Basically, is what I think. Other than that, it should just be whether it's deliberate. And I think I can't see why there'd be any argument for that. We've gotten so far away from what the rule was brought in for that it's just crazy to me. But yeah, this game, so I watched it, and yeah, like United had chances as you'd probably expect, but like Bournemouth could have scored, they could have scored 4, 5, 6, which it's just crazy to think in a game like this. Like you get a game, they lose 3-0, you think, God, that must have been just an absolute freak result. Like every sort of shot goes in, and you pepper the goal, and it won't go in for you. And actually, you watch it, and you could argue they got lucky to only lose by 3, which, given the games they've got coming this week, is it ain't encouraging.
And then, right, so before I make my next point, I did say in the video, like, how's Maguire won the Player of the Month and Eric Ten Hag Manager of the Month? Like, it's surely nobody was buying into all this.
Maguire was very good against Chelsea midweek.
Sure.
He was actually quite good in this game as well.
But it's like all of a sudden they're like winning all the monthly awards for 3 games they won. Like and they're still winning games. Like the Fulham game they won in the 91st
3-1 nils. Is it 3-1 nils?
Yeah, something like that. And like, why are people buying into this? Why? It's
no, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It's still very.
I agree with that. I think they beat Everton 3-0 actually, but yeah, they wins,
beat Everton
3 clean sheets, and I cannot believe that they've lost 7 games and they're 6th in the table. It's unbelievable. I mean, they've had no draws, which actually just shows if you draw too many games that it kills you. Really breaks the back of your season. But they're very bright. I mean, they either win or they lose, and they don't do any draws. And they're lucky to have 9. I don't know how they've won 9 games. I don't know how they've won 9 games of football. I've watched them nearly every week. They're on the telly, and they're shockingly bad. They're awful. They're probably the worst coached team in the league relative to their actual talent group. I can't think of a worse coached team in the league. I'd even say Chelsea. I've seen more from Chelsea.
Chelsea bad.
Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea. Granted, I watched Chelsea on Wednesday against you, and they were busy. I mean, that in game ending 2-1 was.
Well, might as well talk about that game because that game.
Well, yeah, it's happened since.
Yeah, it was so bad from Chelsea. Like I could say there was the only one that really, and Sanchez saved the penalty. Apart from that, it was an awful performance. All right, Reece James came on half time. I thought he was dreadful. He put in one decent ball. He
Injured
seems a
again
bit like
today.
lackadaisical at times. Garnacho had him running him riot around him it's just like Mudryk was probably the best player of the front line, and like that says a lot because he's not in that good a form. But the Sterling and Jackson just like decision making at times is awful.
Oh, that was going to say on that. Man United, obviously they were better than us, absolutely. There was two things I got from the game. One, Man United still conceded chances, but not XG chances, i.e. Sterling and Jackson's final pass were abysmal, absolutely abysmal. There should have been like three or four like passes where there's a clear-cut chance and likely a goal on one of them. Certainly in the first half, in the second half less so.
Jackson's miss that Sterling squared to him.
Oh, Sterling's fault, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't
surely
know
Jackson
who
gets
Sterling,
lose that first time though.
but you have to think, does Sterling not know his own teammate there because he's put that onto his left foot. And Jackson is so one-footed, like it's his teammate. He should know. He should know what way he wants that pass, and he had to put that onto his right foot.
And he's given him no angle either. I mean, he's given it straight in the middle of the goal where the keeper can just rush out. You've got no angle either side of the keeper. Obviously, he should be doing better. It's Jackson though.
It's Jackson though.
Yeah. The other thing,
Sterling should know how he has to pass it to it in order to give it the best chance of scoring, and he hasn't done it.
No, the distinct lack of style of plays from the two teams, and that throughout the season, I mean, Man United deserve to be mid-table dross like us. I think we deserve to be 13th and 12th, respectively, because at least when you talk about Luton and Everton and Forest, you've got styles of play there where you've got a deeper line and counter-attacking football, which I actually prefer watching, to be honest.
And just on that, Everton's last goal against midweek, who did they beat midweek? Newcastle.
Yeah.
That last goal, Bettel's last goal, they pass it around the back in the 90-odd minute, work it the whole way up the pitch and play a through ball to Bettel, who slots it in the near post. Chelsea haven't played anywhere near that level of football all season.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think that's going to kill both sides, and funnily enough, both teams, Man United and Chelsea, have had the same problems where a manager comes in and tries to implement the style of play. The players don't like it either because of the intensity of the training or because they get bored of tactic. On the flip side, the board of the tactic side of the game, and then the manager gets ousted. It's incredible. I mean, they're so toxic. Both institutions, and they're gonna fail.
But I think the common trend is both like properly professional leaders playing and player wise. Like,
did you see? Just on that point. I don't know if you caught what Fernandes done at the end of the game yesterday, like 85th minute. They're losing 3-0. And he's on 4 yellow cards, and he just goes and gets a needless booking for literally for nothing. And now he's banned for the game next week at Anfield. And like, whatever you think of the guy, and he certainly ain't a captain, he's still one of their best players. And you've got your captain going and doing that and getting himself ruled out. I mean, it just speaks to your point of just not having someone out there that. And I'm not saying it has to be sort of your Roy Keane or Patrick Vieira, like beating the chest and fighting the referee, fighting the opposition, but. Like, you've got to lead by example, right?
But that's what it is. Both teams probably need players that are going to be like 3 players in each team that are going to be 7 out of 10s every week. Like, just more reliable. Yeah. Like, every player in both teams is really consistent. Even Thiago Silva now is like he's just getting a little bit past it now. Like, there are more mistakes coming in with his game. but like it's Thiago Silva. Like it's so like of course that's the case. Like he's been going for ages, and you can't put the blame at him at all because he is literally trying his best and has been carrying that defense for what ever since he got to Chelsea. Was it 3 or 4 seasons now?
Mm.
Can I walk you through Man United's wins because we were talking about them there? Just to highlight how insane it is that they haven't gotten any draws yet, and the fact that they are sixth with a -3 goal difference. By the way,
Yeah.
scored 18 in 16 games, conceded 21. 1-0 in game week 1 against Wolves, the infamous Onana incident at the end of the game. That wasn't a penalty. 3-2 against Nottingham Forest. 1-0 against Burnley away. 2-1 against Brentford. That had 2 goals in added time. 2-1 against Sheffield United. That was the Dalot screamer. The last 10 minutes of the game. 1-0 away at Fulham. The Bruno Fernandes 91st minute winner. 1-0 against Luton. That was a goal in the 70th minute against Luton Town at Old Trafford. The 3-0 against Everton, who had just come off the 10-point deduction. That was the very next game. And 2-1 against Chelsea, who are Chelsea. So, yeah. that's the wins. There's your answer. It's late win against Fulham, late win against Luton, late win against Brentford,
They had
late
one
win against
deserved
Sheffield United.
against Chelsea, and Chelsea, it was more Chelsea being absolutely horrendously bad. It was so bad. It was so bad how bad they were.
It's funny how we've actually got we've actually got more results recently, but the performances have definitely gotten worse for Chelsea. Like whenever we earlier in the season, you felt like, oh, we're unlucky and things are coming, and you could see we're top of the XG table and that sort of thing. And you're like, there's something here to build on, and once we get a couple of results, it'll come. We've actually got more results, but then the win against Spurs, that was just awful to watch. Like we should have put that game well out of sight and then just made hard work of it. And then the performances have just got worse and worse pretty much from that point on, and then now the results are catching up with the performances, and we're losing to a really poor Man United, and now an Everton side that are on the up, but still it's Everton.
Yeah.
Breaking news. My voice cracked there. Barcelona 1, Girona 2.
It was breaking your voice. 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Barcelona equalized in the middle of the first half, I'd say. And then Girona just scored again. So funny.
You're having a great weekend of it.
I'm enjoying Girona being top. Someone else that is in Real Madrid. Barcelona 4th right now as well, which is very funny. Taking Coutinho from us shamelessly in 2018 still annoys me. Okay.
Jeez. You literally went on to do better. If you hadn't have sold him, you wouldn't have won the Champions League or the Premier League. So
possibly,
you should be thanking them if anything.
Possibly. I mean, we bought Van Dijk before he left, so possibly, but we don't know. Moving on. We spoke about Liverpool at the start there very briefly. The run of games coming up is huge. From here until the new year. Thursday, we have Union Saint-Gilloise. That's, the Europa League group is taken care of. And then Sunday, December 17th, at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. GMT, Liverpool, Manchester United. This has a 5-0, 7-0, 4-0 kind of potential. And this, I think, it has the best chance of that. We're top. We're scoring every game. Man United have scored 18 goals in the 16 games they've played this season. They're not scoring against us if Alisson is fit. We have a chance here. I don't want to spoil it too much, but the trajectory there. I play a little prediction league with my family, and we have scores and all. We tally up the scores, and I'm not doing very well this season actually. I think I'm 4th from 5 or 3rd from 5. But I think the prediction I'm going to put there is 5-0. I am that confident. But then we play against West Ham in the EFL Cup. Now that is a tournament we have a huge chance of winning. Because we're in the quarterfinal now. Arsenal and Man City are out of it. This is the quarterfinal. What follows that, December 23rd...
Is the EFL Cup not the Papa John's?
What's that?
No, yeah, it is. It is. Because it's the EFL Trophy. It's the EFL Trophy.
Trophy,
and then it's the Carabao Cup. Carabao's the sponsor.
League Cup.
The League Cup, the Carabao Cup, League Cup. Yeah, the League Cup.
To be fair, to me, it'll always be the Carling. Like, of all the sponsors, the Carling Cup. Yeah, I don't know why. Because it wasn't even like it was for that long.
I hate Carabao.
I first remember it as. It's terrible.
I've actually never seen a Carabao in the wild.
Have you
never seen one in the shop? No.
Interesting. The pizza trophy, Papa John's, changed name, I think. Because I play Football Manager, I have a save with Buxton from the Vanarama North. And
where they make the water.
What? Oh yeah, it's a spa town. I learned after I started the save. The Papa John's trophy was changed to Bristol Street Motors, I think it was, which is a far more boring name than Papa John's. And then Saturday, December the 23rd, which is 13 days away, I'm realizing, is Liverpool Arsenal. Oh my. By that point,
what is that?
December 23rd.
It's another bloody 5:30 kickoff, which we've lost 2 5:30 kickoffs this season, so I'm not particularly looking forward to that one, I must be honest.
Good luck, Harry.
Yeah, it's a big. Do you know what? It is a big stretch for Liverpool because they've been very good at getting results. Liverpool have definitely had the hardest fixtures to date, like given their away games. Because I was looking at this earlier, so they've already played City away, they've played Newcastle away, they've played Chelsea away, they've played Spurs away, played Brighton away. Like they've only really got us and United to come, and obviously United at the minute. I mean, it's always gonna be a hard game for Liverpool just because the rivalry. But
are you saying it's their league title to lose, Harry?
No, I mean, I'd love to stick it on them like that. I think it's more that I'm basically looking at it because I don't think they've played particularly well away from home in a lot of the games I've watched. But like, what you have to give them credit for is they're not losing games; they're managing to get results. And it just kind of comes down to the where you fall on the spectrum of, is it a good sign or is it a bad sign that you're kind of picking up results without the performances? Like, do you think the performances are going to follow and then the results will continue? Or do you think that eventually it catches up with you and like the performances don't improve and the results then kind of take a downward turn? Like, I don't have the answer to it. I didn't have the answer to it when we spoke about it last week. But
I'd always judge it by performance, especially over like if you have a month of poor performances, but you get the results, that can't carry on. It'll catch up. If you have one bad performance here and there, that's the sign of a champion winning team. There's small blips, but they get past them. But if it's a month of poor performances, it's going to catch up with you.
I think it could be a tough month for Liverpool, and the reason why is, here's my predictions.
Go on.
Klopp rotates the team Thursday massively.
Yeah,
that team absolutely batters Union Saint, whatever. Girard.
It doesn't matter anyway. It's an inconsequential.
Well, no, but that's so they win. They absolutely batter that team, and that means that Klopp plays that rotated team because he hates English trophies against West Ham.
Well,
so he'll lose to West Ham because he hates English trophies. He absolutely hates them, especially the EFL Cup.
Hey, we won just literally 2 years ago. We won the cup double. What do you mean?
He still hates them.
Nah.
Man United will have their passion project and will win. and then Arsenal are better than Liverpool in my opinion, just on performances.
Wow.
I think it would be close, but I think that's a fair evaluation of where Liverpool are in terms of, yes, you're getting results, but you've not been the best team in the league this year. I know that sounds ridiculous. You top.
No, I know. I was thinking about this earlier, and it's difficult to make the argument without sounding salty. Like,
or stupid because they're top. Yeah,
you have to give them credit for the results. Like, you have to say, as I said, I think they've had the hardest games to this point, and they're top of the table, and they do deserve credit for that. I'm absolutely convinced they haven't been the best team. Like, across the period, across each of the 90 minutes, if you evaluate each performance, I don't think they've been the best team in the league. And as I say, it's difficult to say that without sounding like you're bitter about it, or as I say, I'm a bit biased, so I watch us every week. Like, if we're being honest, City have probably been the best team, even though they've had a couple of rocky results recently. I think Liverpool have done really well to only lose one game, and it's not even just this season. Like, they're on I don't think they've lost more. I think in the last 7 or 8 months they've lost one game, stretching back to the last season. So
the one game which was the Luis Diaz disallowed goal. Game.
So even then, it's sort of like dubious circumstances. It was 96 minutes.
To back up your point, Harry, Understats have Liverpool third on their expected points.
There you go.
Sure. Who are top and second?
Quite high up.
I haven't looked at this. Who are first and second?
Man City are top, and Arsenal are second.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Chelsea are. Hang on, I'm just nosing Chelsea. How 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are Chelsea are sixth, incredibly.
Very interesting. We're Everton.
10.
Everton.
They're quite high up. I think
Everton are 8.
Yeah.
8th.
All right. Yeah, Everton have far exceeded any expectations, to be honest.
There's not any other surprises really there. Or Brentford are quite high. Brentford are 7.
Yeah. Right. I can go on about why I actually think Liverpool are the best team in the league this season. At least the most consistent. But I won't. But I will say, we have been the ones that found the answers. Those next 3 games are at home. And I think Burnley away, the one that follows, and then Newcastle home, and then Arsenal away. You are very right. This is a crucial month, but it's also it has some tough games in there. But this will be the answer, I think. If we do have true title winning credentials, and it will also be the January 7th, I think that week, or January 1st, that set of games will be the one where your 3 or 4 title contenders. You'll see the true character of Aston Villa, and whether or not they are title contenders. Although I haven't looked at their fixture list entirely, but that Christmas period, Fergal said before. You said before, Fergal, that Christmas period is the one that separates the men from the boys. But I think we will be there.
And the main thing as well is that Man City are on this relatively poor patch for Man City standards, and Arsenal and Liverpool need to take full advantage of this and get as much of a points difference between Man City and them now, if they because Man City will come back into it later on, as they always do, and they've got Kevin De Bruyne to come back. So this for Liverpool and Arsenal, that is a huge game, and I think you can make the case that whoever doesn't win that, if that could be them sort of out of the title race, because whoever loses that will probably end up being overtaken by Man City.
We will see. Right. As we end every time, have you got Short King of the Week nominations? I have mine straight away.
Yeah, I think I've got the same one as you, Adam.
Who's yours?
I was going to say Harvey Elliott.
I was going to say Harvey Elliott. Mohamed Salah did score his 200th Premier League goal, 200th Liverpool goal, 150th Premier League goal.
He saved my fantasy this week as well.
Saved my fantasy this week as well. Saved, I think, most players' fantasy teams.
I didn't vice captain.
Yeah.
Which I actually couldn't tell you the last time that's ever come into play for me, and yet on this occasion, it has. It's doubled me points tally, 26 from him. So I'm fully behind you picking him on this occasion. I'll be honest.
I think one honourable mention probably doesn't deserve it, but John McGinn, and not only because he scored, but because his performances have been really good. And on top of that, he was heavily slated, not just by other fans, but by Aston Villa fans as well. When I've always rated him really highly. Yes, he went through a period of bad form, but his intensity.
Not under Steven Gerrard as well.
Yeah, it was under Steven Gerrard, and I think in terms of someone who's going to give you everything that he can within a game, whether he's of the Champions League level, I think he always does that. I don't think he ever leaves the pitch with sulking or without putting everything into it, whether he's had a poor game or not.
Great celebration as well.
I think he's small. I've got 1.78.
I looked this up earlier. It's on the line. He's 178 centimeters.
5 foot.
He's not
10.
He can't be
5'10".
Not
And it's happened before. That's why I was laughing there earlier. Yeah. It happened before.
That's telling me 5'8". 170.
No, 178. It's 5. I just Google. It's in front of you on Google right now.
I'm 170 centimeters exactly. So he's like nearly 3 or 4 inches taller than me.
5.84 feet, which is 5'10", rather than fuck's sake.
There you go.
Sorry. Okay, well there you go. He looks tiny.
I would like
5'10". Does he fuck?
Yeah, he is.
I'd
love to give it to him, but unfortunately he's just on the cutoff. Virgo?
I think it's because his bum's so big that it makes the rest of him look smaller.
Yeah,
he's
always crouched. He's always in that crouched fucking position, of sticking his backside out.
Yeah, it's smart. It's smart play. He learned from the article. Who did it? Yaya Toure. The athletic article
Yaya
was.
Toure speaking to it.
He'd done an article before that as well.
Yeah,
he was speaking about Hazard as well, about his backside.
Yeah.
That was bum.
Yeah,
it was so bizarre.
So Mohamed Salah or Harvey Elliott. I am tempted to give it to Salah just because he ended up saving my fantasy as well as, getting such a massive milestone. And the goal against Crystal Palace.
How tall is he?
Well, he's 5'9", which is why he wanted the other week. Salah's 5'9". All in agreement for Mohamed Salah. It's your king of the week.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Just give it to him, mate. He has saved my fantasy football this week.
Come on, what a weekend! What a way to end it, ladies and gentlemen. Have a fantastic week. Good luck out there. We will see you next time as we edge ever closer to the Just Another Football Podcast derby of the season. I can't wait, Harry. I cannot wait. We'll see you guys out there. Have a wonderful week. Go check out the Superlatives episode, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.